guys, today we're going to be making the famous Liège waffles that are a popular street food in Belgium, and today we are bringing that back to the States to do not our own twist on it, but our closest replica that we can get to it. So yeah, begin with me on this journey. I went to Belgium last year and I fell in love with their street food, and so when I came back to the States, I made it my mission to try to recreate it because there's nothing like it anywhere in the States. Not even like store-bought that you can buy. Like they're close, but they're just not exactly, because when you mass produce something, it's not as good as being freshly made. So that's been my goal. I've tried multiple recipes, and so today, after I've tried maybe 5 times of making different recipes, I'm combining things I liked from all of those, and this will be the melting pot of recipes to see what works. I'm combining a little bit of what's written on this package for how they say to make it, as well as 2 other recipes online that I will link. So yeah, let's get to it.
Alrighty, here are the ingredients we're going to be using today. Of course, I have a full list of all ingredients in my website below. So first I started off with the 3/4 cups of milk, to which I took over to my stove and began heating it. They said to heat it around between 110 degrees and 115 degrees, so I went for around 112, just so that way it really activates the yeast. I added about a packet full into my mixer, and then just a teaspoon of sugar to really get it growing and coming alive. While that was resting and rising, I went ahead and cracked my eggs just to make sure there were no shells. And then I also went ahead and cut up my butter into tablespoons, because I find it's easier to mix into the batter later on when you do that ahead of time. So by then your yeast should look like this, all bubbly. I went ahead and attached the dough hook, but I didn't start it yet. I went ahead and added all the rest of the wet ingredients. Like I added the eggs, and then I added the packed brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of that. Then I added a tablespoon of honey, a teaspoon of vanilla, a teaspoon of salt, and the recipe calls for 3.5 cups of flour, but I only added in 2 cups at this time. And then I went ahead and started mixing at a low speed. So as that's getting going, I add in another half of flour just so it really starts to combine the wet and sticky. This next stage, I add in the butter. It's the most time consuming, but it's better to take your time and make sure it's really folded into the dough. And throughout this process of adding in the stick of butter, I usually alternate another half cup in between each time to just really get it sticky and then get it more congealed again. So by the end of it, once you've added in the rest of your flour, you'll start to notice that it starts pulling from the side. Right here, that was the final bit. It pulls from the side, and you let it continue to knead for around 10 minutes, and by the end of it, your bowl will be almost clean, as you can see right here. So while I was doing that, I went ahead and greased a bowl so I could just completely move the dough into it once it was done to begin proofing. And here you can see that it passes the proofing test by bouncing right back up. So into the bowl it goes. I airtight conceal it, and then I will go ahead and put it into the oven, because proofing is very much temperature based. So I found, instead of letting it sit on a counter, it's better to put in the oven, and it's supposed to double in size. And this is 2 hours later. You can see that it definitely doubled in size. So then I take it out, and you can see the dome from all the pressure built up inside. It was really satisfying to release that. Then you punch your dough and you start to reshape it for the second rise. Some people put it in the refrigerator at this point, and you definitely can, but I tend to find, since I'm making it all within one day, that it's better to just pop it in the freezer for a little bit and then just leave it out basically. So here I cut up the dough into no specific amount of chunks, just what feels right in the hand. And then I massage the pearl sugar inside of it. There's 2 different ways to do it. Some people, if they're making the whole batch all at once, will just put the pearl sugar into their dough, but I found, since I'm doing individual helping, I just do them waffle by waffle. This is the waffle iron I have that lets you control the temperature exactly. The waffles themselves only cook for around 2 minutes, and then I think they're perfect. It's the right amount of warm and hot, but being still gooey. These were all my friends' first time trying them. They've never had a real Liège waffle, and they thought they were extremely good. I'm showing the interior here of just how it's a little doughy, kind of similar to a donut. Then I made some more the next day after refrigerating it, and I still found that the dough was very light and airy. And so it worked well. So if you need to make half a batch and eat it one day and then save it for later, it totally holds up in the refrigerator. And yeah, this was the best batch I've made so far. It's as close as I've gotten to the real Liège waffles. But unfortunately, it does make me really want to go back to Belgium. But I hope y'all enjoyed, and thank you for watching.